Folks, I just have to share with you, I'm a little uncomfortable talking about this, all this rules stuff, because it's so inside baseball. And I do not want to play a role here in creating a rift. That is already happening. It's maddening that this is happening while the convention's going on, when everybody arrived in Tampa unified with a sense of purpose here to defeat Obama, and for whatever reason. Some want to defeat Obama just because he's the opponent. Others want to defeat Obama to save the country. That hasn't changed. All this inside baseball stuff, it's interesting, but it's not changing anything on the ground. It's not changing the polling numbers. It's not changing how these candidates are being perceived. This is stuff that the vast majority of voters are never going to know about, care about, never going to matter to them. It really is inside baseball stuff. I just wanted to share it with you so you would know. It's just a continuation of what you and I are all aware of, and that is the uncomfortable nature that Republican leaders who are not conservative have with the conservative wing of the party. And it isn't anything new. This is just the latest manifestation of how the Republican establishment is trying to rid themselves of this nuisance, which is us. Now, we got a guy on the phone from Arlington, Texas. He's a member of the Texas State GOP Executive Committee, wants to weigh in on this. His name is Bill. Bill, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you so much, Rush. Dittos. And by the way, Bo Sturdley is the best call screener in the world. The guy is very professional.
How many call screeners have you spoken to, Bill?
Well, remember, I like to call in Saturday Talk Radio. Rush, you are right on the money on this topic. You have hit the nail on the head. Here is the thing that Republican activists, conservatives, Tea Party people all across the country can do. If they go to Phyllis Schlafly's Eagle Forum website, just Google Eagle Forum, on the right-hand side it says Update, Protect Your State's Delegates. There they list the delegates that have signed on to the Minority Report, and then they have lists of members of the Rules Committee. In other words, they list the states where the Rules Committee members have signed on. They list the states that haven't signed on. People can find their own state representatives. They can email them or give them a phone call. And
do they really not know what's going on, these state people? Do they have no? Well, why does anybody need to call them? Do they have any idea what's going on?
I'm telling you, Rush, this story was breaking on Saturday, and the mainstream media wasn't picking it up. Only on Sunday did the Washington Times have a story. Most of the rest of it was on blogs. People aren't really aware of this. Grassroots people are just now finding out because of you and because of Michael Ben. And you all are doing a great service to the country by doing this. This is the same thing. This is the same thing that was happening back in the 1700s when the British government was trying to take away the freedoms that American colonists had been used to. They're rolling us back 40, 50 years in terms of democracy within our party. This is a terrible mistake. People can contact their representatives on the Rules Committee and urge them not to make this mistake. This was
you say that this could cause a split. How?
Well, this can cause a split because many of us activists out here, many of us supported other candidates for president other than Mitt Romney, but once he became the nominee, we closed ranks. But we never expected he would have a power grab like this. It discourages us tremendously. We were geared up for the campaign. Now we're having to rethink our commitment. And it's a very frustrating thing. Romney is making a huge mistake here by dispiriting the grassroots people that are going to get out there and knock on the doors and make the phone calls and get out the vote to win the election.
He's not dispiriting anybody. He's firing them up. That's another thing that's a little curious about this. This is just going to fire these people up when they hear about what's going on. They're not fire them up to get ticked off. This is the establishment's going to hear about this. This is I know the fear is that this is going to cause people to throw up their hands. The hell with it. Doesn't matter. The party trying to get rid of me. I'm not even going to vote. Not going to give them my vote. I don't think that that's the end result of this because of the patriotism of these people and the very nature of what this election is all about. This is not going to change that. At any rate, Bill, I appreciate the call. Thanks much. It really is an inside baseball subject. It's real, and it is happening, and it is an effort by the establishment to de-emphasize conservatives. And if they're not careful with this, they're going to end up causing to happen their worst nightmare, which is third party. If they're not careful, this is where this is all going to end up. Albert in San Francisco, you're next on the EIB network. Hello, sir.
Hi, Rush. Great to speak with you. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I had a question for you. Yesterday, you talked a lot about how Romney and the GOP were going to have the convention be about Obama being a nice guy but incompetent. In Sunday's paper in the New York Times, I'm not sure if you saw, but it was on the front page. They specifically talked about, it was a pretty lengthy article about how Romney is going to have a harsher tone during the next stretch of the campaign. So I was wondering what you thought about that article in relation to this Obama being a nice guy.
I think everything in the drive-by media is intended to intimidate Republicans into shutting up. I think all these charges of racism, all these stories about Romney adopting a harsher tone that are accompanied by a warning, you'd better not do that. Look how likable Obama is. I think what's going on here is the left knows how vulnerable Obama is. The Democrat Party knows what an absolute disaster they've got on their hands. The Democrat Party knows they're hanging by a thread here. They know that the vast majority of the American people do not want any more of this. The only choice they have is to neuter their opposition. They cannot pump their own guy. There's nothing about this guy you can say 4 more years. There's nothing in his performance. There's nothing in his record that anybody wants more of other than the moron vote, the taker vote. But that still is not a majority of people in this country. So there is an all-out effort on the part of the media, the Democrats, it's all the same bunch, to scare, frighten, intimidate all Republicans into shutting up about Obama. Because that's all they can do. And they keep going back to that because in their mind, it works. In their mind, they succeed in neutering Republicans. They look, for example, this fight over delegate selection. I guarantee you the media is looking at this and thinking, all right, this is exactly what we need. We've got the Republican Party now doing our bidding for the Republican Party is trying to get rid of our nemesis. What Carville, what Obama, what Plouffe, Axelrod, what all these guys know is their biggest enemy is the conservative population of this country. So they're embarking on an effort to disenfranchise us from our leadership. They're trying to get the leadership of the Republican Party to cast us aside by making them scared to death of what's going to happen to them if they don't. They are doing everything they can to try to intimidate and silence any criticism of Obama because that's instant death for them. Again, it's all rooted in the fact that they've got nothing positive they can say. There's not one thing that's happened in these 4 years that the Democrats are saying, 4 more years of this is what people want. Not even health care. They don't even talk about it. People don't want that. Poll after poll after poll, majority. Americans don't like Obamacare, want it repealed. So they're taking advantage of 2 things. They know they can intimidate Republicans. They know they can silence them. They know that they can get them to shut up. And they know they've got a black president. All they have to do is charge Republican criticism as racism, and that will shut the Republicans up. Now, meanwhile, while you cite this New York Times story that's warning a harsher Romney. Now, what they want to achieve with that, they want Romney's people to read that. Oh, no, we don't want to be harsh. No, we're not going to be harsh. So they're hoping that the Romney campaign changes its strategy so as the New York Times will applaud them for not being harsh. All the while this is going on, the New York Times is urging Obama to get harsh. The media is urging Obama to get tougher. They want Obama to be mean. They want not just Samuel Jackson and Ellen Barkin running around there hoping Republicans die. They want Obama running around and saying things that are not specifically that. But they want harshness. They want hard hitting. They want gloves off fisticuffs from Obama at Romney. While at the same time they want Romney sheepish and trying to be above the fray by telling what a nice guy Obama is, but he's incompetent or he's in over his head or what have you. Look, this is everything to these people. It's their lives and running government, controlling it, having power over people. That's what they salivate over. That's what they live for. And they've got an absolute disaster on their hands in this administration. It's an abject failure no matter how you slice it. Look what's happened. These guys are dyed-in-the-wool socialists. They've got pretty much everything they wanted. They got their nationalized health care. They got their stimulus spending. They've got their debt run up like crazy. They've got tax increases in the pipeline schedule to hit in mass January 1st. They've got everything they want. But the problem is, the American people aren't doing tap dances. The American people aren't celebrating. The American people are rejecting them. In the midst of their glory, they're being rejected. The American people don't want what these people are succeeding at doing. And in that sense, it's a failure. They're not loved. They're not universal. I don't even buy this likability stuff in the polling data. I don't trust any polling data on Obama simply because of the racial factor in it. And that's, to me, what's frustrating about watching the Republicans. They do not know the great hand they've been dealt. Because they get up and they see this AP story and they get scared. Oh, my God, we're racist, we're sexist. Oh, my God, we hate Hispanics. Oh, there's a war on women. Oh, we hate women. Who believes this garbage? It's asinine to think a majority of people actually believe this garbage of a war on women. Nobody thinks the Republican Party's got one going except literal morons whose votes are not going to change anyway. The Democrats, thank God, well, whoever, that the Republicans don't seem to be able to muster the confidence that they otherwise ought to be feeling out the wazoo. Obama ought to be 10 points down with this kind of performance. With this record, with the country and the economy and the shape it's been, Obama ought to be 10 points down. And he may well be, if not for these doctored polls. And I don't mean doctored by the pollsters, but rather polls that don't reflect the truth because people are lying to the pollsters. They don't have the guts to tell a pollster the truth for a host of reasons. The Democrats believe their own press. That's their biggest problem. The Republicans' biggest problem is they believe the Democrats' press. And the Republicans' biggest problem is they think that everybody that reads this AP story agrees with it. And what are we back to? We are back to the thing that I tell you that irritates me most about people, and that is giving a damn what people think of you. That's what frustrates me more than anything here. Because all of this is based, all of this internecine or internecine war within the Republican Party about conservative. The only reason the establishment cares about that is because they're worried what people think of them. And it's to have this opportunity to contrast who we are with what they are, and we don't have to tell people it's right, and they're living this disaster. This should be ours for today. This is low-hanging fruit. This is a hanging curveball, whatever cliche that you want to offer. Got to take a break. Be back.